Why, Elon? Why do we need to build a city on Mars with 1 million people on it in your lifetime, which I think is kind of what you've said you'd love to do?
Yeah, I think it's important to have a future that is inspiring and appealing. I mean, I just think that there have to be reasons that you get up in the morning and you want to live. Like, why do you want to live? What's the point? What inspires you? What do you love about the future? And if we're not out there, if the future does not include being out there among the stars and being a multi-planet species, I find that it's incredibly depressing if that's not the future that we're going to have.
Elon Musk is a very interesting character. There's quite a bit there that I agree with. You know, there's quite a bit there that I actually commend him for, especially his sort of ethical and moral outlook on AI and transhumanism, the way he sort of, you know, he doesn't take a liking towards those that want to play God from that perspective. He seems to be someone that acknowledges God to some degree. But what really fascinates me about him is, I mean, if you listen to his interviews, you know, you could see it in his eyes, you could see it in his body language, you could see it you can hear it in his voice. This is a man that embodies in a very clear way and highlights the two most fundamental base human existential desires. The want to find and seek out ultimate purpose and meaning to life, and the want to achieve something great. You see it in his personality, right? And he, if you like, he's the perfect archetype from that perspective. And that's why I believe people don't like him and follow him and are not intrigued by him because they want what he has. But instead, I believe it's because they want what he wants. And he expresses this in a very profound way. And on top of this, he has the material resources and money, which most of us don't have, to be able to try and find the answers to those questions and to fulfill those desires. What most people are doing, they are living through him vicariously. And that's what fascinates people about him. But what should also happen is that his life should be an example for us, because now he's at the point where he doesn't really want to make any more money. You know, money hasn't obviously satisfied him. Now he wants to go and explore space and send people to Mars and develop new technology, etc., etc. You know, he is someone that's expressed, as you've seen in the clip before, that this is what drives him. This is what gives his life meaning. But for how long? You know, just like money gave him meaning, I really believe it's going to get to the point where he's going to want to move on to something else. And this should highlight to us that the human being is not going to find the answers to those questions. He's not going to be satisfied by seeking out the world, by seeking out more material goods, by seeking out more money. You know, as human beings, we were created for a particular purpose. And unless we fulfill that purpose, we're never truly going to be satisfied. And that wasn't to worship and, you know, submit yourselves to the material world and to money and these types of things. As God says in the Quran, He created us to know Him and to worship Him. And God also says that truly in the remembrance of God, our heart's going to find rest. You know, what's truly going to satisfy us and fulfill us is us turning back to our Creator and to worship Him. And what's profound is when God says that He created us for no other reason except to know Him and to worship Him, what's profound is by doing so, you are finding the ultimate meaning and purpose of your life, and not only finding but fulfilling it. And secondly, you are achieving the greatest thing any human being can achieve. And those are the two things that we're really looking for. Now, how does this work? And I want you to really think about this for a second. If you try to find meaning in worldly things, in ephemeral, limited, dependent things, whether that be money or anything else, no matter how great that may be from a worldly perspective, you have to realize because it's limited, the pleasure you're going to be able to derive from that, the satisfaction you're going to be able to derive from that is also going to be limited. And soon you're going to become bored. And our lives are testament to this. How many times have we saved up for something, bought something, and then we're not happy? We're not satisfied. We want more. We want something else. Elon Musk is probably a greater example because he has more money to spend and buy greater material things. But even he doesn't seem to be satisfied, and he wants more and more and more. He's non-stop. I mean, if you listen to his interviews, he hardly rests. And he acknowledges this is unhealthy, right? Because he's not being satisfied. You're not going to find satisfaction in this world. But when you submit yourself to the Creator of the heavens and the earth, the most perfect being who has no limits, who has no imperfections, who has the most perfect names and attributes, you are going to constantly be engaged. There's not going to come a point where you say, I'm bored, I'm done. I know God now fully. I've extracted as much pleasure I could out of worshiping God and turning to God and submitting to Him and obeying Him. You're never going to reach that point. to submit yourself to God, to try and have a direct relationship with your Creator, it's fulfilling, and it's perpetually fulfilling from that perspective. Because you're not dealing with something that's limited and ephemeral. You're dealing with the Creator of everything that exists. I mean, think about it. If that isn't great enough, I mean, what could be greater than submitting yourself to and being a slave of the Creator of the heavens and the earth, Creator of everything that exists, the Creator of everything that exists, and trying to develop your relationship with that Creator? Because that's the only thing that's going to not only provide peace and tranquility to you, but that's the only thing that's going to elevate you as a human being. When you submit yourself to the Creator as opposed to submitting yourself to something created. And that's the only thing that's going to bring you to your senses from the perspective of knowing who you truly are. You know, as God says in the Quran, don't be like those who turned away from God or forgot God and God made them forget themselves. These are profound verses to reflect upon and think about. You know, we are in that position now. We've turned away from our Creator by becoming extremely secular in every single domain of our lives. But in doing so, we've lost ourselves. And now we're trying to find ourselves again in some way, shape, or form, but we're failing. Only when we turn back to our Creator and submit to Him are we going to find the purpose of our lives, are we going to be truly fulfilled, and are we going to be people that have found themselves and have achieved something great and truly been successful in this life. And I'm going to leave you with that. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, and let's have that engagement there. And until next time, take care and make sure to subscribe.